Welcome back, everyone. This is Steve from the Core Productions Deep Dive TV podcast. My co-host Stacie, and we are doing our second annual Halloween and Horror Month.
Yeah, happy October.
Happy October, where we are going to be talking about several Halloween and horror movies. And we're going to do less than we did last year. We're not going to do like 5 of them, I don't think. We don't have as much time this year. But we're kicking it off with Freaky, the 2020 flick. And the movie's description reads as follows. After swapping bodies with a deranged serial killer, a high school senior discovers that she has fewer than 24 hours before the change becomes permanent.
Ooh.
I hate when that happens. The movie was written by Michael Kennedy, who also wrote Time Cut, which is one of the other movies that we're going to cover this month. And Christopher Landon, who is responsible for the Paranormal Activity movies. He also directed this movie. And he directed Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. Those are other movies that I would like to cover, but we're probably not doing it this year. Before we go any further, I'll tell you a couple things. One, this is not a spoiler-free movie, so if you haven't watched the movie, I highly recommend you go and check it out, and then come back and give us a listen. Secondly, if you're listening on the platforms of this podcast now, be the one, please follow. And feel free to check out our YouTube channel, Corn Productions, where additional content can be discovered. If you're already on our YouTube channel, please like, share, and comment, and subscribe to our channel. Alright, so Stacie, your opening thoughts on Freaky.
Okay, so first of all, I want to address what we are covering this month. Last year, we were just kind of all over the place for our Halloween and Horror Month. We're trying to be a little more thematic this year and follow the theme we've been doing all year long, which is to put our movies into a kind of sci-fi section. Usually we're doing timey-wimey stuff. Now this particular movie isn't exactly timey-wimey.
It's more like body swap.
It's a body swap story. But, as any Quantum Leap fan knows, body swap is just the opposite side of the time travel coin.
Okay.
See, you need both if you're going to do a Quantum Leap comparison, right?
Gotcha.
You have to travel through time, and you got to swap bodies with someone. So this is our swapping body section of the year.
All right. Well, the chief reason that I thought it made sense to kick it off with this movie is because it also happens to star Kathryn Newton, who was in our other movie this year, the map of all the tiny little things.
The map of tiny little things.
Yes.
Yes. Which is a time loop movie.
Right.
In the vein of Groundhog Day.
And
we've done several of those this year, so if you like that kind of thing, make sure you go check them out. You can find them in our movies playlist or in our It's About Time playlist.
Yes.
This movie, okay, so it's Body Swap.
Yep.
The original working title of this, which will tell you everything you need to know going in, was Freaky Friday the 13th.
Yes.
So it's a mashup between the classic Freaky Friday body swap story and the classic slasher story, Friday the 13th. I don't know this for certain, but I feel pretty confident that the reason they changed the title to just Freaky is because Freaky Friday the 13th makes it sound like a parody.
Right.
And although it is very referential, it's not a parody.
Well,
it is a teen slasher movie.
According to the Prime information, the X-ray stuff that we get when watching it from Amazon Prime, which, by the way, is where this movie currently is, the source material for this is the exact same as Freaky Friday. It's coming from the same source material, the inspiration at least.
I mean, that story is literally just 2 people swap bodies and you have 24 hours to fix it.
Right.
Or you're stuck that way.
Yes.
Has any of the movies ever actually made them get stuck that way?
Forever?
Right. I don't recall any body swap story where they weren't successful in fixing it.
Well, it's a shame. We should make one.
I mean, I feel like that would be a good take for a horror movie is, oops, we actually did fail and you're stuck this way forever.
Well, if that ever comes to be, we know someone is listening to our podcast. All right.
I'm just making sure I hit everything I wanted to say in that section. I think I did. Okay, moving on.
So, did you like this movie or no?
Yeah, I like this movie. It's very tropey. It's very teeny boppery, but I like that kind of thing. It is a teen slasher. You can't take it too seriously.
Right.
It's meant to be part funny, part gory, not necessarily scary. You know?
Right.
It's not like this is some high-end work of art. It's
it definitely is not.
Campy slasher.
Well, I would say that some of these kills are kind of art-worthy. But yes, it's not a movie that... I mean, it's a very enjoyable movie. But if you're looking for something high-end, something prestige, this is not it.
I don't think anything we're covering this month is going to be.
Right. I would say that I think Vince Vaughn as the Butcher and then actually as Millie actually gets more to work with than Catherine Newton does as Millie and eventually the Butcher. When she becomes the Butcher, her character becomes substantially less interesting because she's basically just the Terminator, essentially.
Right. I think they both did a really good job of pulling off the body swap. Unlike every version of Freaky Friday, because there's like 30 different versions of that, we're not dealing with a mother-daughter switch. We're dealing with, I swapped with a serial killer. And it does provide a lot of humor. And it's meant to.
Right.
But not in a direct parody kind of way. It's a comedy. Horror.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I think they both did a phenomenal job of playing each other.
Right.
We don't get a lot of the actual Butcher up front. Like, we don't see him speak.
Right.
Until he's Millie. And then we get him a little bit at the end, like the actual Butcher. But I feel like seeing her play Millie and then seeing him pick up that part.
Yes.
He did a great job.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Copying her mannerisms and her style. Yeah, I think they really pulled it off.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn is a phenomenal actor. And so is Catherine Newton. Of course, I've sung her praises before, I'm pretty sure. And, she's pretty attractive on top of that. Which, of course, I have to point out because, why wouldn't I? But, because it's me. Do you have anything else to say before diving in?
In case this is your very first time with us, welcome. And let me tell you how we do things here. We're going to go scene by scene through the entire film and talk about everything that happens. And as we go, we're going to talk about all of the actors that we meet. And there's a lot of them in this movie. So be prepared for that.
Yep.
Especially the first part of the movie as we're meeting everybody for the first time. And we'll give our thoughts on what's happening as we go. And then we'll see how we feel about it at the end.
All right. The movie begins on Wednesday the 11th with some kids at night drinking. Evan is telling a ghost story about the blissful Butcher who started his reign of terror in 1977. Evan is played by Mitch Hogg, 15 credits, including the son of Zach Morris in Saved by the Bell, the sequel series, and 2 episodes of the rebooted Roswell series.
Wow, that's exactly what I have for his credits.
I don't think anything else stood out that either one of us would have picked.
Usually we pick different things, though. At least one different thing.
All right, fair enough. One of the kids, Isaac. Oh my God, we're gonna be doing this again. Mocks him for the geriatric serial killer, and he's played by Nicholas Stargell. 18 credits for him, including 5 episodes of Revenge and 1 episode of the rebooted Amazing Stories.
Oh, I thought you were going to copy me exactly again, but nope. I've got 1 episode of One Tree Hill.
Okay. Oh,
was my 1 episode, Adam.
Okay. Jeannie says not to underestimate the white man's propensity for violence. She's played by Kelly Lamar Wilson. 17 credits for her, including A Man Called Otto, Summer of '03, which I think also had Catherine Newton in it, and an episode of The Middle.
She also was in 14 episodes of a series called Moonburn. That doesn't sound right. Maybe that's not what it's called. That could be a typo. She's in 14 episodes of something.
Well, thank you for that. 14 episodes of something.
I mean, my notes say Moonburn, but maybe it was Moonbeam?
Maybe. I don't know. She thinks Evan's story is BS, and Sandra gets into the conversation. She's played by Emily Holder. 7 credits for her. Nothing I recognize, but she does have Cheerleader Karate School series listed as, and it's just 1 episode of that. I can't imagine why that didn't go on to, have 7 seasons of that show. But, that was enough of a title that I definitely had to shout that one out.
Okay, she was in 2 episodes of Vindication and 1 episode of Dead silent. So yeah, what they're doing is they're kind of they're telling us the lore of the Blissfield Butcher. Whereas, one person said, oh, yeah, it started in 1977, and then one of the girls was like, no, it happened in the 90s, then he disappeared. It's one of these things where it's all about, like, the lore is bigger than the truth, right? And today's teens know about this killer, but they don't really know the details of who this person is, what happened to them, and how many people did they kill. They don't really know.
Jeannie thinks the story is just a means to warn against underage kids drinking and other teenage debauchery. Isaac pulls a douchey move and gets Sandra drenched in her drink, and then she ends up running off. Evan indicates that Isaac should go after her, but not because he cares, but because he wants to make out with his girlfriend.
Yeah. Couple things from... And obviously, I think we all know, going into a horror movie, that these characters don't matter.
Right, yes.
We're going to be done with them very soon. This is just a cold open. But what the scene we already did, and everything that's about to follow in this opening sequence, this is our first really good, homage to classic horror.
Yes.
So the whole sitting around the campfire, telling the lore about the killer, obviously that happens all the time in horror. But really, the first real prime example of that, which I feel very strongly that this connects to, is from Friday the 13th Part 2, which is the first film, where we get Jason Voorhees as the killer. And it's the same type of thing, right? Where they're telling the story of what happened with how he died and the murders that happened before. Because the murders that happened before weren't him. They were, spoiler alert if you've never watched Friday the 13th, it was his mom, right?
Oh my God, you spoiled it for me.
So, it's like the story's not right. Nobody knows the story. But it's almost like they are manifesting what's going to happen by talking about it.
Oh, okay.
So one thing that happened in this scene somebody had speculated that, he always kills kids around homecoming. And we'll learn later that actually never happened. And it's very subtle. We do get the real story about the butcher. I don't know if you even picked up on it. It's over a news broadcast as we're walking past a television.
Oh, okay.
The actual story of who the butcher is.
Well, is it the real story? Because you can't trust anything that happens on the news.
Okay, the closest to the real story we're going to be told. And that he never killed kids at homecoming. But guess what's going to happen in this movie?
Oh.
We're going to kill kids around homecoming.
Okay.
So it's almost like
it's all these kids' fault.
It's like, exactly. They manifested this reality, which didn't exist before they made it happen. Okay. And also, two of the kids' names are also direct references to that film, Friday the 13th, Part 2. Okay. Ginny and Sandra. Ah. So Ginny's the name of the final girl from that film. Yep. She's the one who classically puts on Pamela Voorhees' sweater and pretends to be Jason's mother. Interesting. Do you know this? Do you even know these stories?
I mean, it's been quite some time since I've watched these movies. The only thing I remember about him is that Jason runs around and stabs people and kills them, and usually it's because they're having sex or something.
Okay. Well, before we get to it being that repetitive nature, this first story with Jason Voorhees is he's he's just taking revenge on the death of his mom, right? Because he freaked out after seeing her get beheaded. So Ginny, the final girl from that film, pretends to be her. She finds this altar with Pamela's head and her sweater that Jason has kept as a shrine, and she puts the sweater on and pretends to be him and talks him down. Okay. So Ginny very clearly to me is a reference to her. And then Sandra being another girl from that film. And I meant to go back and look this up and I didn't. But I'm pretty sure she's the girl from Friday the 13th Part 2 that dies in the bathroom. Okay. So we have that too. And I'm almost done with this rant, I promise, and then we can move on. Ginny in Friday the 13th Part 2 is played by Amy Steele, who starred in the Quantum Leap episode, The Great Spontini.
Aha! Yes, I knew I recognized his name as soon as you said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was our first classic Quantum Leap episode we covered together.
That's true. It has that nostalgia feeling for us.
Yeah, so that's who we're talking about when we named these characters Ginny and Sandra.
Okay. So Isaac admires artifacts in the house. Sandra points out that Ginny's dad is an art collector. Isaac finds a knife in a case. Sandra asks if he's going to help her find some more alcohol. Isaac thinks not and goes, oh, actually, no, that's not what wait, what?
Wait, what?
Okay, so I don't think...
What did you have? Say it again.
Okay, so Sandra asks if he's going to help her. Okay.
She's trying to clean up, because remember, he spilled booze all over her. She's trying to wash herself. She's looking for soda water.
And yeah, okay, so Isaac doesn't think so and goes further explores the house. He finds some wine, which he drops after a jump scare. As he cleans up, he finds himself quickly stabbed with a bottle by a deranged man in a mask. And he's very dead. And this would, of course, be the first appearance by the Butcher.
Butcher!
Though we do not see him yet.
Well, we see him. He just has a mask on.
That's what I mean.
Which, of course, is also a homage to classic slashers, right? Because they always wear a mask. So
Sandra, in the bathroom, hears a knocking sound. She tries to get away, but is bludgeoned to death with a toilet seat. I'm not entirely sure that would work. Yeah. I don't know that you could kill somebody just by smashing their head in a toilet.
We're led to believe that he is very, very strong.
Yes.
Which also, I guess, is a trope that the killers usually have superhuman strength.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like, there's no reason to think this guy is anything but human.
Right. Meanwhile, Evan and Ginny are getting it on. Evan doesn't finish. And this is a very almost graphic scene, though we don't see anything.
Well, you have to have a sex scene in a horror movie, even if they're going to water it down for the type of movie this is.
As he's complaining about it, he is murdered by a tennis racket. Also, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't work. But Ginny runs off. He misses her with a harpoon-like thing, and then he hides in the closet.
She hides in the closet.
Right. The killer opens the closet door, but misses Ginny because... there was a hidden door. She sneaks out of the closet. I don't know why she just doesn't stay there, but whatever.
Because we have to kill her.
Right, of course.
Because it's the opening sequence. She can't be a final girl.
Right.
Because it's only the beginning of the movie.
Right, of course. So
there are rules.
Yeah, absolutely. We cut to the parents coming home, but this... and they're complaining, oh, she better not be drinking. Well, that's not a problem because she's dead. And, basically they start screaming. And, the parents... Actually, I don't even know. Do they end up dead, too?
We do not see them get killed. I don't think they died.
Okay.
Because the Butcher, I think, ran off. So, few things that this opening sequence set up. Obviously, we're meeting the Butcher.
Yes.
We learned that Ginny's dad collects cuckoo artifacts. The whole house is full of, like, all this really weird shit, right? Mm-hmm. It's like Friday the 13th, the series... You know, the antique store full of haunted shit. That's what's happening in this house. So, two things he got from this house. He took the mask, which he was wearing, which we at one point see it missing from the wall. And he took the knife. So, we see the knife in this scene. Like, I forget which guy it was. One of them was like looking at it in a display case. And then at the end of the sequence, we see the knife's missing.
Right.
So, he took the knife from here, which obviously this knife's going to be important.
Vince Vaughn.
Okay, yep.
He's played by, he plays the Butcher.
The Butcher is played by Vince Vaughn.
79 acting credits for him, including Psycho, the remake. Shot-for-shot remake, which I don't even know why they bothered with that. Did you ever see that?
I think I did, but I don't really...
remember it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that means he has played a killer before.
Yes. Old School, he played Norman Bates specifically, the serial killer. And Jurassic Park, The Lost World. He also has 26 producing credits. He's actually recognizable in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of things you could have grabbed from his filmography. I also grabbed Wedding Crashers and The Breakup.
Yes. Yep. Jeannie's parents, meanwhile, were played by Dustin Lewis, 45 credits, including 3 episodes of Cobra Kai, an episode of Ozark, and an episode of House of Cards.
He also was in 2 episodes of Mr. Mercedes and an episode of Timeless.
His mother is played by...
Her
mother is played by Jennifer Pierce Mathis, 44 credits, including an episode of True Detective, 2 episodes of Good Girls, and 2 episodes of Florida Man.
And 1 episode of Tell Me Your Secrets. Now, I know pronouns are going to get complicated in this discussion.
Yes.
But they shouldn't have yet, Dave.
Yes. I mean, look, this is me you're talking to. Everything gets complicated right away, especially when it comes to talking. All right, so... Cut to Millie just waking up in the morning. She's played by Catherine Newton, who we talked about in Map of All the Perfect Tiny Perfect Things.
Map of Tiny Perfect Things.
She was also in Lisa Frankenstein and Lady Bird.
She was in 14 episodes of Big Little Lies and the Netflix series The Society, which I love that one, and then it was canceled, and I know we've talked about this 100 times.
You have, which is why I didn't bring it up, because I knew you would.
She was a main character in that.
Right. Helpful title card informs us it's now Thursday the 12th.
Thursday the 12th.
As she's called down for breakfast. Her mother is cooking banana pancakes, and it looks like she's covering up an application to the school she wants to go to. Millie's mom is played by Kate Finnerman. 45 credits, including The Michael J. Fox Show, Murphy Brown, and an episode of Frasier.
2 episodes of Frasier, actually. And 1 episode of The Blacklist. And her mom is named Coral.
Yes.
Which feels like a weird choice, but I couldn't figure out any referential reason why they picked it.
Her sister, who happens to be a cop, is played by Dana Dory. Her sister who comes into the scene. 14 credits for her, including The Affair, High Fidelity, and an episode of Taken. I was almost not going to mention The Affair because I knew you were going to.
Yeah, I love that series too. She was in 2 episodes of that. I didn't recognize her as who she might have been, but just 2 episodes. As well as she was in an episode of Into the Dark. The sister's name is Charlene. And we also learn with these credits that the family's last name is Kessler.
Yes.
Which was the name of my elementary school.
Oh, well, what do you know? What a coincidence. That's why we're destined to do this movie together. So she asked if she got a date for homecoming, but nope, she's going to see Wicked with her mom. Her sister is unimpressed by this. Her mom asked asked Millie if she's excited about going. Millie is not very convincing when she says yes. Her sister discovers a bottle of booze in the trash before leaving, heavily implying that her mom is an alcoholic.
Yeah, and Charlene is not too happy about her mom drinking.
Right. We're on the school campus. Millie greets Mr. Daniels with his dog. He's played by Alonzo Ward. 23 credits for him, including Jaws 3D, an episode of the Wonder Years reboot, and The Banker.
He also was in 1 episode of Good Girls and the movie Strays. That's the one about the dogs that talk.
Oh, okay. Is that a horror movie too?
No, it's a comedy.
Okay. Meanwhile, one of her friends drives up in Josh Detmer and tells Mr. Daniels that he loves his black wiener, which is totally an innocent comment and not in any way a come on. He's played by Misha.
I don't think either of those statements are true.
No? He's played by Misha Osherovich. 14 credits, including nothing that I recognize.
4 episodes of Nosferatu. And Misha is actually a writer on the brand new series Wayward.
Okay.
Which just came out this week as of when we're recording. I think I might want to check that one out.
Okay. In the car with him is Nyla, played by Celeste O'Connor. 10 credits, including Ghostbusters Afterlife, Frozen Empire, the sequel after that. And Celeste is not impressed by his comment. Josh and
You mean Nyla?
Yes, and neither is Celeste, though.
I mean, we don't know that.
Right. Okay. I mean, for all we know that the actual actress thinks the comment was hilarious. But anyway. Josh and Nyla are apparently friends of Millie, and Josh is clearly into men. They give her some crap for missing homecoming. Josh says she's gonna go because Booker, her crush, is also going. Josh leaves. Nyla says it's been a year. It's time to stop living life for someone else. It's been specifically been a year since Millie's dad died. Nyla says she gets it, but doesn't want her to wake up and realize her entire life passed her by because she was busy being everything to everyone except herself.
Right, so this is where we get the context for her relationship with her mother. Basically, she spent the year since dad died at her mom's side, being her mom's best friend, and this is why she's about to miss homecoming to go to a regional theater with her mom. And she doesn't want to do that, but she feels this obligation, like, I have to be there for my mom because she's having a hard time.
Right. So she walks down the hall when an obnoxious dude scares her, and then she's approached by Ryler, who compliments her on her dress. But Millie doesn't seem thrilled to see her. And she's played by Melissa Colazzo, 8 credits for her, including the Little Mermaid live-action remake, 3 episodes of Stranger Things, and 2 episodes of Swamp Thing.
As well as all 16 episodes of One of Us is Lying. this actress looked so familiar to me, but there was nothing in her credits that screamed to me, oh, that's what I know her from.
Maybe it's because you've watched this movie before.
I mean, I have watched this movie before, but I mean, I know you do.
Yes.
Look at somebody and you're like, I
Absolutely.
know them from something else.
Right.
And then you don't.
We encountered that situation a lot when we were talking about Quantum Leap. We'd see an actress, oh, we've totally seen this person before. We looked through her credits and realized, oh, the thing I recognize them from is, Quantum Leap.
Right, but that's because
Yeah.
we've watched Quantum Leap like 5,000 times between us in our lifetimes.
Mhm.
I've only seen this movie once before, so
Right.
I feel like she must remind me of somebody else. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, she's not complimenting her on her
Nope,
dress.
nope.
She is making fun of her. And so this is our quintessential mean girl, is who Ryler is.
And she takes her shot at her to make fun of her, and then she ends up taking off with her cackling girls behind her. She sees Booker as Locker, who then takes off. Booker is played by Uriah Shelton. 38 credits for him, including 2 episodes of 13 Reasons Why, 8 episodes of Girls Meets World.
Girl Meets World.
Right. And Monk.
Fun thing about Booker, his last name is Strode.
Okay.
Which is
right, of course.
Absolutely a reference to Halloween Laurie Strode, of course, the character played by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
Who is in probably the most famous version of Freaky Friday.
Oh, yes, of course. Yep. Along with Lindsay Lohan and the sequel that just recently came out, Freakier Friday. Cut to shop class where a kid named Bill is showing off his doghouse. He's played by Magnus Dial. 9 credits, including a couple episodes of Nashville, and I made note of nothing else.
Me neither.
His teacher, Mr. Bernardi, is played by Alan Ruck, who is a pretty recognizable character actor. 125 credits, including Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Star Trek Generations as a captain who was probably going to command a garbage scow after what took place in that movie, and a regular on Succession.
Okay.
Nothing else for him?
He was also in 10 episodes of The Exorcist, the series.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he has a lot of credits.
Yep. Millie comes in late. He's not very nice to her about that. He sits next to Booker, who tells her to set her watch 5 minutes ahead. And this will be a very important thing.
It's a very important thing. He gives her this advice to always set her watch 5 minutes ahead so she'll stop being late. Fun fact, my bedside clock is exactly 5 minutes ahead.
Okay.
Has been for years. I keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It's just a thing I do.
Maybe you should set it 3 hours ahead so your husband will get up on time.
Well, he doesn't look at my clock.
Oh, okay.
It's for me. But,
Gotcha.
but yes, I've always kept it 5 minutes ahead. So this line, I feel it.
Yeah, you feel it?
I feel it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't do that with my cell phone. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't actually use the clock like as an alarm, but
Right.
it's just like visually the clock I look at.
Gotcha. All right. Soon, Mr. Bernardi is even more of an asshole.
He is a terrible human being.
Yeah.
Let's
And then-
say that.
And then later, he's pretty ridiculous.
He treats her horrible. This man should be fired.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I get she's late to class. He is just an asshole.
Right. When he calls on Millie to present her project, which she was scheduled to do on the 16th, him being an asshole is interrupted when everyone's phones go off. They are receiving word about their dead classmates. I'm surprised none of them knew about this beforehand, but okay. Nyla and Josh are in the auditorium talking about this. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. Josh was not in the scene yet.
It's Millie and Nyla.
Yeah.
They're on so they eat lunch every day on the stage. They're
Yep.
theater kids, I guess. And so they're on a stage sitting under a noose.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that.
And when I watched this time, my brain thought, oh, there must be a scene later that takes place here.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, there
involving
is.
the noose, I mean.
Oh, okay,
But
gotcha.
then we don't do that.
No, we don't.
I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
Yep.
that there's a noose on stage and we're not going to use it in a horror movie.
Right. Yeah, it should have been involved in someone's death. Someone
Right?
should have been seen hanging there or something. But yeah, Josh is basically really excited about his classmates dying and the fallout from the deaths. He's basically mocking people who are sad about these classmates' deaths.
He has a video
Yeah.
of Ryler, our mean girl,
Oh, yes.
who's faking caring about this. So she's
Gotcha.
the girl who pretends she's friends with the victim because, of course she is, because she's the most popular person in school, and she loves everybody.
Mm-hmm. Josh blames it on the butcher, and he happens to be right. Millie suggests they will cancel homecoming. Josh doesn't think so, comparing it to Christmas. And guess who ends up being right? Yep, but Josh is the one that's right, because next thing we know, we're cutting to the game. Josh and Nyla are there, and so is Millie, though.
Well, the football game wasn't canceled, but later, homecoming does get canceled.
Okay.
So I guess they're both right.
All right. So Bill, who's a football player, ends up chucking something at the beaver mascot, saying she's the only beaver no one would touch. And this, of course, turns out to be Millie. And these guys are on crack. I'm sorry. In what universe does someone say this about Catherine Newton?
Well, I mean, that's the whole point, is she's supposed to be this character that is a loser. She doesn't have any friends.
I'm not buying it.
Except the theater kids. No. And nobody likes her.
Everybody would like her.
But by the end of the movie, she's popular. That's a trope.
Because she puts on a coat.
And she puts her hair up.
Oh, okay. My bad. I mean, that's all the difference right there. All right.
So we learn here that Millie is the mascot, which is an uncool thing, you know. So she's there at the football game, and we learn that Booker's a football player, as well as Phil, who we already met. And here's where we meet another person, Brett.
Yes, he's played by Ezra Six, and he makes a comment about her face being sort of doable. 4 credits.
Oh, no, his comment was if you cover her face.
Okay, yeah. Again, that's not accurate at all. And Booker is, of course, not pleased by any of these
She just needs to learn how to do her hair, obviously.
I guess so, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. All right, so after Josh and Nyla walk, this is after the game, she suggests she quit her mascot job. Millie says extracurriculars help with college applications. Nyla points out her mom won't let her go anyway. Her mom isn't there to pick her up. She says goodbye to her friends, despite them offering to wait, and the mention of a psychopath. Yeah, basically, I don't understand why she doesn't just go with them.
She's trying to have confidence in her mom. She's like, she'll be here in a minute. Yeah, no, she won't.
Because they're supposed to be going to see Wicked together, too, right? That's why she couldn't go to homecoming in the first place.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, okay.
This is Friday. This is Thursday still. This is Thursday. The homecoming dance is Friday night.
Gotcha.
Friday the 13th.
Gotcha, yeah.
But we're still on Thursday right now.
What seems like hours later, she's still on the bench, and her mom is at home passed out drunk. Her sister, Charlene, comes home to find her there. Charlene calls her, and her phone dies before she can request her sister pick her up. And then she sees a creepy figure across the way. She begs quietly for this not to be the butcher alert.
Yeah, she's like, please don't be the butcher. Please don't be the butcher.
Swear alert, it actually is the butcher.
It is the butcher, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this would be a pretty weird movie if we don't actually get the butcher in here.
Right. She tells him that her cop sister, who has a gun, is coming. He totally doesn't care. She makes a run for it, she hides, and it seems for a moment like she successfully gets away from him, but then she comes out from her little hidey hole, and she is spotted. She makes a run for it across the football field. He's unmasked, and then suddenly, as she's about to be stabbed, it becomes all stormy. Lightning strikes, and the butcher looks confused. Okay, so this right here should be where the switch takes place, but it doesn't seem like
it happens at midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's confusing. Like, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, so have they made the switch here? Because that's what would happen normally when you get
I mean, is that what happens normally, Dave?
I don't...
Normally when you get stabbed with a sacrificial voodoo knife, you switch right away?
I don't mean in real life. That is not a situation I've encountered in real life. But in a movie, typically, this would be where the switch would take place. But it doesn't, necessarily. We see Millie at her house dealing with her emotional mom.
Well, okay, I just want to talk about this scene a little bit more.
Okay.
So this is the magic knife that he stole from Sandra's house.
Right.
Okay. The knife lights up when he tries stabbing her with it. Now, I don't think he knows what the heck this knife is. I think he was just like, oh, cool, a knife. I can kill people with it.
Right.
So he took it. He stabs her in the shoulder.
Mm.
And the imagery, like, yeah, you said thunder and lightning, but also, like, for a split second, they're no longer on a football field. They're on top of a stone pyramid at some kind of altar.
Okay. Yes.
And then, poof, it's gone again, and they're in the football field.
Right.
So, Yeah, it was like something out of Skyrim. They're on top of this altar, on top of this stone thing, while he's stabbing her. He stabs her in the shoulder, except he feels it too.
Ah.
They're both kind of freaked out because she's not bleeding. He is.
Yes.
He stabbed her. It hurt her, but
Yes.
he's bleeding in the shoulder, like he was stabbed.
Right.
And they both just look like, what just happened?
Right.
And then Charlene arrives. You skipped all this.
I did skip that, yeah.
Charlene arrives because she was smart enough to realize that her sister did need a ride, even though she didn't get to ask for it. Charlene shoots a warning shot. The butcher runs off. She calls an ambulance. The knife is left behind, so the police have the knife now. And Millie goes to the station, and we see the knife getting put in an evidence locker along with the mask.
All right. And
now
then,
we can go to where you wanted to go, which is at home.
Right. And then after dealing with her emotional mom, Millie decides to take a bath, which is very important to point out. She has a terrible night sleeping, and the next morning, the butcher, as Millie, seems to...
so we see the clock strike midnight, which I'm assuming that's indicating that's the moment it switched.
Right.
Because we're focusing on the clock turning midnight. And while she's sleeping, we saw like all these weird images of the knife, and she was hearing voices and all this stuff.
So yeah, the butcher wakes up as Millie.
In Millie's body, in her room.
And is very confused by the girly setting and the posters on the wall. And meanwhile, Millie, waking up in the butcher's body, wakes up in the serial killer den, actively screams at some of the horrifying stuff as Friday the 13th flashes across the scene, the screen, the whatever.
The scene shows the screen
Yes.
telling us it's Friday the 13th now, because of course it is.
A homeless Scooter Scriggins,
Cooter Scriggins.
He's played by Don Stallings, 34 credits, an episode of Perfect Strangers, Where the Crawl Dogs Sing, and
Where the Crawdads sing.
You're right. I've always never known how to pronounce that.
Words are
Big surprise.
Words are hard for Dave.
Yes.
Makes me feel good about how less my words are bad compared to you.
And Mr. Mercedes. Anything else for him?
Haunted Mansion. The film.
So he's asking for jelly beans, and Millie asks what he looks like, and he looks kind of like Vince Vaughn.
She goes, do I look like a girl?
Right. When he reveals who he thinks he is, the homeless man wants the drugs that Millie has, but Millie then just runs off. And of course, he makes some other comments that I'm not going to repeat here.
Good call. It's a funny scene, though.
Yes. Meanwhile, the butcher is hanging with Millie's mom, acting like a creeper. Frank, the mailman, stops at the house asking how Millie's doing. And he's played by Charles Green, 96 credits for him, including an episode of NCIS New Orleans with Scott Bakula, Irresistible, and Dr. Sleep, which is another movie I would love to cover.
He also is an episode of Kindred and an episode of Echoes.
Her mother attributes her daughter's behavior to being in shock. While the butcher looks at a knife, in pops her sister Charlene, who shows no concern about the way that she's holding that knife.
Yeah, so the next several scenes with the butcher is him just kind of contemplating, should I kill these people now?
Right, or should I wait?
Like, he doesn't seem overly concerned with the fact that he's in some girl's body. He's just like, oh, I can kill people in a new way.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Millie, as a serial killer, is casually wandering down the street in the body of a serial killer, which does not go unnoticed by a random passerby. Did you happen to get a credit for him?
Okay, well, I'm going to... A random passerby or him?
Yes. It was a guy you basically saw.
No, I don't think we know who that is.
Okay. Millie tries to approach Mr. Daniels.
But yeah, this is where I'm going to stop you because this is where the TV thing happens.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I think it's the guy you're talking about that we don't know who he was. He walks past a store window.
Yes.
There's TVs in the window playing the news because that makes sense. There's always TVs playing news in windows in movies. I've never seen in real life a TV in a store window playing the news, by the way.
I've never seen that as well.
But it's all the time in movies, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's a news report about the butcher. This is where we actually learn all about him in like this 2-second clip while a character that's not a character in the movie walks past it.
Oh, okay.
His real name is Quentin Shermer. He just escaped from Avondale Sanatorium. which is a very Halloween-like scenario. And this is where he's been since he murdered his mother and left her severed head at Dairy Queen in 1992.
You know what? I don't think he was raised very well, because that is not how you treat your mother.
It's not how you treat your mother. But it also is referential to Jason Voorhees' mom being decapitated.
Gotcha.
Now, he didn't decapitate her, but it's like we're mingling, Michael Myers' story of killing his family with Jason's story of a decapitated head of his mother.
Right.
So this is the Butcher story. Is in 1992 he killed his mother. Nothing to do with homecoming or killing teenagers.
Right.
He killed his mom and has been locked up ever since, and he just escaped.
Right.
So all of that folklore just is nonsense.
Right.
Until it comes true this weekend.
All right. So
the TV also tells us that the town now has an 8 p.m. curfew.
Ooh. Okay, so Mr. Daniels is not too thrilled to be approached by Vince Vaughn, and he accidentally ends up, not Mr. Daniels, Billy ends up accidentally knocking over a woman who recognizes her as this is where the...
At this point I think it doesn't matter.
Right.
As long as we can follow the story.
She recognizes the Butcher, and this woman is played by Michelle Ladd. Only 4 acting credits for her, but she also has 30 stunt credits, including some on Stranger Things, Doom Patrol, and The Outsider.
Also Walking Dead stunt credits.
Yes.
So I guess they needed a stunt actor because she gets knocked over?
Yeah. She does that very well. They both end up terrified at each other and running and screaming. The Butcher goes through her Millie's clothes and decides to go to school, and we see her...
She's going through Millie's closet, is unsatisfied with Millie's wardrobe, because even this serial killer that spent the last 30 years in a sanitarium thinks Millie's clothes are uncool.
Okay.
Because that makes sense.
Right, absolutely.
So he raids Charlene's closet, which is where he finds the leather jacket.
The leather jacket, which must be like have some secret powers to make Millie attractive when she wasn't before?
So apparently the Butcher made Millie hot.
Okay, that makes sense. And we see her walking her way through the crowd as we hear a familiar song playing Que Sera Sera. It's a very different version than what we're used to.
Yeah, this is more a classic version.
Right.
I think this was the Cordettes singing. Not the original, but still a very old traditional version compared to the
From version?
The From version.
Which I think actually would be appropriate
that here. Is played by the Pixies.
Yes. It changes to... basically a punk music as people check her out because she's now wearing a coat.
And her hair's up and she's hot.
Yep.
All the boys who made fun of her before are like drooling over her now.
Right. That's totally tracks. Her friends ask, does Millie look cute? The popular girl is suddenly interested in talking to her, and the Butcher has her take her away somewhere. Meanwhile, Millie, as the Butcher, is being looked at for by the cops, and she likes to go to the school. I have no idea why she thinks that's a good idea.
Well, she doesn't know what to do. So she goes to school. And her actions are a little weird for the next couple bits.
Meanwhile, in the locker room, the Butcher is, being talked to by the popular girl.
This is Ryler.
Who wants to know if she's been SA'd, but the Butcher is thinking of ways to kill her while caressing her face. And she mistakes this for coming on to her and saying, it's not a bad thing if you're a lesbian or, whatever. Riley says she's going to go to the bathroom and says when she comes back, Millie is going to spill the tea or she is out. While going to the bathroom, she discovers Millie as the Butcher taking a shower. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, so Millie woke up in this dude's body and her first thing was, I need to take a shower. Now, he probably is stinky and gross. But this shouldn't be top priority right now.
Right, no.
But she's taking a shower. She's got to get all clean. In the girls' locker room at school.
Right. So she runs from Millie as the Butcher to the Butcher as Millie, panicking that the Butcher is here. The Butcher leads Ryler to a cryo chamber. I have no idea why the school even has this thing.
What kind of school is this?
Right.
That they have a cryo chamber.
Right.
In their locker room.
And then freezes Ryler to death.
He sets the chamber to minus 300 degrees, which also I feel like that shouldn't be possible. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't get cold enough to freeze a person to death.
Right.
Especially not freeze them to death as much as what we're about to see.
So, I'm going to ask again, why exactly does a school need this thing?
Well, okay, so its intent is for, it's to go in to treat sports injuries. So if you have a sore muscle, this or that.
You freeze it to death?
You go in and it just makes you cold. It's like putting a cold compress on it, but it does it to your whole body. It's supposed to be therapeutic.
Oh. Well, it shouldn't have a kill setting.
It shouldn't have a kill setting, and I don't know, maybe I'm out of touch, but I don't feel like it belongs in a high school.
No.
This has to be like a really, really, really rich school to have this, is my thought.
Right. Okay, so Millie has finished her shower and comes out to discover a frozen and very dead Wyler who falls and shatters into a million little pieces.
Shatters into a million pieces. And again, would that... Okay, let's pretend you could freeze. You did have a thing that went to a negative 300 degrees. Which I don't think it would do that. I don't think it'd be physically capable of doing that. But if it did, would that make somebody so frozen that they would shatter like glass?
I don't know.
Because, like, I'm thinking about, like, you put meat in the freezer, right?
Yeah.
Like, you take a frozen roast out of the freezer and drop it. It's not shattering.
Right.
But also a freezer's not minus 300 degrees. So I'm curious about the science. Like, if you freeze something that cold, does it change the complex of something to make it glass-like?
I mean, if this were liquid nitrogen, maybe, but I don't think that's the case. And we could always perform experiments and see what happens.
I'd rather not do that.
Okay.
No.
You know, it's kind of interesting that only the people who, like, bully Millie are the ones that die in this film.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of only kill the assholes.
Right, yeah.
So it's not terrible.
Nope.
There's probably something to be said about that.
Right. The butcher then sits in class, and yeah, maybe, the butcher is actually trying to help Millie. And even at the end, he's trying to help Millie.
So he's leaping.
Right, yeah. So yeah, the butcher...
A leaping serial killer that only kills the assholes.
Right.
It's
Dexter.
Dexter's leaping!
Right, there we go. All right, somebody make me that TV show right now. All right, so the butcher sits in class and appears to flirt with Booker, cuts him, and then sucks on his wound. Mr. Bernardi is like, your constant cries for attention are getting on my nerves. And basically just continues to act like an asshole. I'm not going to be sad when he dies. Nyla and Josh hang in the theater area and discuss how weird Billy has been acting when they are startled by the sight of the butcher who's calling for them and proceeds to chase them.
But this is actually Millie.
Right. Then we have the scene that we have in every single body swap movie that has ever existed, where Millie has to convince them that it's her while they start whacking her with brooms and food and plates get thrown at him.
Plates and pans and
Millie even drops the weapon and says, "Look, I've dropped my weapon. Now can we talk?" And they proceed to just continue hitting him anyway.
Right, because, I mean, are you going to want to stop and talk to a serial killer?
I mean, it's not on my to-do list, for sure.
Yeah, they're like, hey, wait, listen to me. Sure, we'll listen to you, serial killer in our school.
Right.
When they run into the lunchroom, we see a lunch lady run out. Mm-hmm. Like, she was smart enough to be like, I know. Yep. That lunch lady is a cameo by the film's costume designer, Whitney Ann Adams.
Okay. Millie then does the school cheer, and he starts getting quizzed on her favorite things, and finally, she convinces them that it's her. As Millie pees, Millie marvels about standing up to pee, and among other things. And, she talks about the blade and how everything happened. Josh finds it via the web, but they have to go to the Spanish teacher to translate what it actually says.
Yeah, so what they know so far is the knife is called La Dola, and it was an ancient Aztecian dagger used in ritual sacrifices. But they go to the Spanish teacher because there's writing on the knife in Spanish.
And she's played by Maria Sager, 21 credits for her, including an episode of Nashville, 16 episodes of Stargirl, and the movie Pain Hustlers, which is on Netflix, and I've been meaning to check it out because it sounds interesting.
She also was in 3 episodes of Hysteria, which was a Peacock show that came out last year.
Did it get canceled?
I don't know, probably.
Yes.
I remember we got screeners for it, but we didn't check it out because it was the same time something else we were doing came out.
Long story short, the swap becomes permanent after 24 hours. Millie in the men's room...
And in order to fix it, you have to complete the sacrifice. So it's because Millie got stabbed, but didn't die, is why the swap happened.
Gotcha.
So they have to... Well, that doesn't even make sense either, because we don't end up killing anybody with how we fix it.
I mean, we sort of do, but not really.
We just stabbed... They fix it by stabbing again, which actually doesn't make sense, because the whole reason that they're saying here is that the sacrifice wasn't completed. The sacrifice still wouldn't be completed unless we... stabbed somebody to death. That's what a sacrifice
You would have to kill the body of Millie to complete the ritual to have her go back to the dead body that she just killed?
Seems like what they're saying here, but that's definitely not what we do.
Right.
So, okay, let's gloss past that.
All right. Millie in the men's room is interrupted by Tim, played by Zach Shires.
Tim Turnipseed. It seems important to say that whole name of this character.
I mean, it's a pretty awesome name. 14 credits for him, including The Devil All the Time, an episode of Wilford, and that was all I had.
Hot Summer Nights.
Tim is being rude, and Millie decides to screw with him and scare him by barking at him like a dog, and threatens him not to bother Millie anymore while picking him up by his neck and shoving him up against the wall.
And he pees himself.
Yes.
Because he's terrified of the butcher. I don't even know if he realizes this is the butcher, but he's scared of this man.
I mean, I would be too. Meanwhile, her friends break the bad news about how much time she has to switch back. Millie points out that the butcher is here in her body, and if they don't do something about that, God knows how many people he's gonna kill.
Yeah, specifically, we're told at this point they have 9 hours left to stab the butcher, or she's gonna be stuck in the body forever.
Right on cue, the butcher ends up visiting Mr. Bernardi, acting like a dick per usual. Millie turns on a saw, and then attempts to stab him. He ends up flipping her to the ground, acts crazy himself.
Yeah, because this is where the butcher realizes Millie's body is weaker than his, and he doesn't know how to use it yet.
Yeah. And then says he will see her in the principal's office. Okay, so if a kid attempts to stab you to death, your reaction is, we're going to go to the principal's office. How about calling the police?
I mean, then he proceeds to, the butcher jumps on his back, right? Tries again. He then ends up kicking the butcher / Millie's body in the head repeatedly. I'm going to point out, this doesn't feel like I'm just trying to put off my attacker.
This feels like I'm trying to murder Millie.
This feels like I'm getting my frustrations out on this student that I hate.
Right.
And I have an excuse to because she tried to kill me. Right. But I am bashing her and I'm enjoying it.
This is a rather psychotic character. Almost more psychotic than the butcher himself.
Right.
But anyway, so he basically says, oh, this is what you get for fucking with me. And then he proceeds to get stabbed in the neck with a screwdriver, which should be sufficient to kill him because that should stab
the blood
him.
is squirting out of his neck. But the butcher isn't done playing with him yet. Yeah, she still wants to really use that table saw. Right.
The butcher is really extra. Basically takes this person who's going to die anyway and then saws him to death.
Impales him. Well, no, that was the screwdriver. That's what impales is in my nose. Okay, so she fillets him. That's the word I'm looking for. Yep. She fillets him in half with the saw table, which is a gruesome scene. So far, we've had 2 really brutal deaths of Millie the butcher.
Yes. 2 cops enter the school. The butcher, as Millie, relaxes like he's busted, but they show no interest in her. This is Deputy Parsons and Jim Hayworth, played by Dane Davenport. 28 credits for him, including Hidden Figures, Selma, and Flight.
He also was in 3 episodes of The Walking Dead and an episode of Resurrection.
Nick Apropoglu, meanwhile, is played by, has 33 credits, including Smile, which we covered last year, The Accountant, and Red Notice.
And 1 episode of The Walking Dead for him.
But then the butcher encounters Millie in her body and her friends. Awkward.
Yeah, so they all run into each other.
Right. Millie is impressed by the jacket. The butcher gets smart and freaks out at the sight of the butcher, himself, I guess, and sends the cops after them. They escape in Josh's car, and then they end up in a high-speed chase. They decide to go to a department store to change over the butcher's look.
And this is where Millie's mom works.
Right. And they're also...
Because Charlene's chasing them at this
right.
point.
Yeah, Charlene.
So they leave the school, and Josh is freaking out because he's like, I just turned 18. I could go to prison for this. Yeah, you could. And why did we never wrap around to the fact that they actually were helping? I mean, I guess that we believe the story at the end that he was making them. Mm-hmm. But there should have been more questions about that, I think.
You would think so.
But
yes.
I'm going to point out the cops in this town suck. These two deputies, Charlene too, and I'll tell you later exactly where she totally sucks. But these two right here suck. They make the call in and they're like, yeah, we saw the assailant and he's with some kids.
Right.
Like, maybe get in the car and go after him. They don't.
Right.
They don't do anything but make this call. Charlene picks up the radio signal. She sees them and she chases after them. And so now we're all inside Discount Bonanza, continuing the chase on foot.
Millie ends up in a changing room, and who should happen by but her mother, who wants to help him pick out clothes. She starts talking about her late husband to this complete stranger on the other side of the door. They end up bonding over the same dead person because, of course, she's talking about her father. She ends up talking about her problems with Millie and about being left alone when she goes off to college. She says that will never happen because she's her daughter and she loves her. Her mom starts hitting on her and trying to get a coffee, to which she starts to try to reject her, and then gets out of it by saying that he is in fact married.
Right.
This is an awkward scene. But anyway, it's further interrupted by Millie's sister coming in a panic, insisting that she put in a call to Millie to make sure she's okay. Her friends come back with a scary Aaron Rodgers mask, and this would be the famous quarterback, who I'm not even sure where he's quarterbacking right now, but I'm pretty sure he's still playing.
And this mask is also a homage to Halloween because Michael Myers is, of course, wearing a Halloween mask.
Right, and that one, of course, was a William Shatner mask, apparently. Right. Okay, so the butcher, meanwhile, is now hanging with the popular kids who wants to throw a party. They see this to be a TikTok or something.
Yeah, they look at Josh Josh is always on the phone finding everybody's videos. We learn in the video that they're at a mini golf place.
Yep.
And Millie's popular now. She's with all the football players.
All because she put on a coat and put her hair up. That's all she had to do.
They have announced that she's the unofficial homecoming queen.
Ooh.
Because we're not having homecoming.
Right.
It was canceled. But did we say that? They did end up announcing that homecoming was canceled.
You did say that, yep.
Yeah, so now they know where the butcher is with Millie's body.
Which is some kind of,
They know they need her.
Yeah.
And they need the knife. And the knife is at the police station.
Right.
I think they should have went for the knife first.
Isn't that what they do?
No, they end up going and chase after. Okay, what's your plan then?
Right.
Because you don't got the knife to finish it. Maybe you should have gotten contained the knife first.
Yeah, so they're at some kind of weird laser tag.
It's so the phone
Halloween-y place.
The video said it's mini golf.
Oh.
When we get there in the next scene, it's more like an arcade.
Right, and they're playing.
But it's also a haunted house for Halloween.
Right. It's very confusing.
It is confusing. It looks like a cool place though.
Right. So the butcher suggests that the old mill be used as a party. Phil tries to cop a feel in front of Booker, and he says to him that he can't wait to kill.
I think that was Brett.
Brett. It's not Bill. Yeah, you're right. It's not Bill. It's Brett. The butcher says that he can't wait to kill him. The butcher goes off, and Booker seemingly goes after her, thinking that's Millie. Millie and her friends show up to this place. Millie realizes the butcher is going to end up killing Booker as he kind of sees it on the video monitor, and they go off to try to stop him. And like I said, this is some kind of weird haunted house laser tag type place.
With mini golf.
Right.
So we're on the mini golf course right now.
I don't understand this place, but it looks pretty damn cool.
It does. It does.
The butcher sneaks up behind Booker and is preparing to stab him when Millie appears and knocks him out. He has to chase...
Knocks Booker out.
Right.
Is a way to protect him.
Right.
From her.
And basically Doesn't want to, have the cops called and all that jazz. They tie up the butcher at home. Booker sleeps on the couch while Millie sits there admiring him in Vince Vaughn's body. When he wakes up, Millie tries to explain, backed up by Nyla, while the butcher, as Millie, tries to convince him that it's not true.
Yeah, maybe they should have tied Booker up too, because this could have went really bad if Booker didn't end up believing them.
Millie starts to say some poetry, and this is enough to convince him of the truth. It was an anonymous note that she left in Booker's locker. The butcher isn't too impressed by this, calling Millie a pathetic coward. They hatch a plan to go get the knife at the old mill. Actually, not at the old mill. At the police station. Josh stays behind unwillingly as the rest leave.
Yeah, so Josh is in charge of babysitting the butcher. And he makes a really funny comment. He's like, sure, I'm going to be left behind with Murder Barbie. I think that's a great way to describe her.
Yeah. And maybe she should play that role next time. But anyway. Nyla leaves Millie and Booker in the car as she goes into the police station, coming up with a phony baloney story to try and get her keys.
Yeah, so Charlene's the only one in the station right now. So Nyla tells her that, because remember, Charlene saw Nyla and Josh with the butcher and thinks they're helping, right? And so Nyla's like, oh, he kidnapped us and he made us help him. And she says she escaped, but he followed her here. So Charlene goes outside to look for the butcher.
And doesn't see the butcher.
This is where Charlene sucks.
Yes.
Because the body of the butcher is sitting in the car in the parking lot.
Yes. Right. And totally doesn't like
the same car, by the way, that she already chased them in. So she even knows what the car looks like.
Mm-hmm.
He's just sitting in the parking lot.
Well, nobody ever said that she was a good cop, did they? Okay. So, meanwhile, Millie tells Booker her story of being in the butcher's body. She says after being bullied all her life, it feels good to be strong. Booker says strength comes from inside, and she's a lot stronger than she thinks. Josh and the butcher hang. He tries to loosen the restraints when his mom comes home, and she's played by Brooke J. Taylor.
Yeah, the mom came home unexpectedly. She's a flight attendant.
Right.
She wasn't supposed to be home till tomorrow, but she came home early.
65 credits for her, including Game Night, an episode of Trent, and Iron Man 3.
She also was in 3 episodes of The Walking Dead and the film They Them.
She's naturally curious as to why Millie is all tied up. Josh just says role-playing, and she says, isn't that a sex thing? He confesses to being straight, but his mom doesn't buy it and insists she be untied. In a last-ditch effort, Josh says that she is in fact the butcher, but it doesn't matter because the butcher gets out and tries to kill them.
And they lock themselves in a room. We never found out what happened with the mom, by the way.
No. I think
we don't follow through with her at all.
No, I think she lives, though.
Yeah, but shouldn't she have been more concerned with what's going on? And
why
her
Millie,
son's chasing a killer,
and why Millie is trying to kill them all of a
sudden.
So
this should come back up.
Right. Josh calls Nyla. Nyla then finds herself with a gun pointed at her by Charlene, and she is forced to kick the knife back over to Millie's sister.
Because Charlene's like, are you sure he's here? Because I couldn't find him outside.
Right, yes. Vince Vaughn is not a small guy. He's pretty easy to spot, I would think.
And literally, we will see, in comparison, this car's right outside the station.
Yes. So, Booker joins Millie in the back seat and brings up the poem. Booker thought the poem was beautiful. He hoped it was Millie, and Booker confessed he liked her since day one. Millie isn't buying it. Booker asks how weird would it be if he felt like kissing her right now. And you know what? I'm going to say pretty damn weird.
Yes, that's weird. As she points out, you'd be kissing a mass murderer with yellow teeth.
And I'm sorry. I know, we're doing this whole progressive thing, and this is, of course, very progressive, where it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, even if that is a 50-year-old Vince Vaughn.
Exactly.
It's what's inside that counts. But I'm not buying it for a second.
I found this scene very cringy and uncomfortable.
Yes.
And it's not because 2 male actors kiss.
No.
That's fine.
Yes.
That's fine. But one of them's a middle-aged man. The other one's playing a teenager.
Right.
Now, the actor's probably of age.
Yes.
Because, we only cast 25-year-olds to play 15-year-olds.
Yes.
But this is a teenager.
Yes.
Making out with a 50-year-old man.
Yes.
Which is cringy.
Yes. And I'm going to point out that, I don't care, how progressive you are, or like, and I'm, as liberal as the next guy. I don't buy for a second that a straight teenage boy
doesn't care.
Is going to be kissing a 50-year-old Vince Vaughn willingly. I don't buy it for a second.
Because he's like, you're just Millie to me.
Right.
No.
No, not at all.
She might need to be a little concerned that he was okay with it.
Okay, so... so they start to kiss, and then Millie suggests waiting until, his hands is not as big as his face.
Yeah, maybe a good idea that we do this when she's in her own body.
Right. So the butcher comes in, and then Millie comes in and gets shot at. Nyla gets the knife. Millie gets marched to the cell at gunpoint, and at this point, Millie as the butcher, or Butcher as Millie, the butcher gets away.
The butcher has the knife at this point.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The butcher takes the knife and runs away because Charlene's like, run! Because, she thinks it's her sister. But yeah. So, things aren't looking good.
No. So,
everybody's here.
Yep.
The butcher leaves, and Charlene's trying to put Millie in a cell.
Right, but Millie manages to get the upper hand thanks to Booker, and then Charlene ends up in the cell instead of Millie, which she's useless anyway.
And
so
I have a question: does Charlene not have a gun in her hip?
Right, I don't know.
Why does she not shoot at the butcher who's locking her in a cell?
I don't know. Maybe they got the gun somehow.
I mean, it's good that she doesn't because that's actually her sister, but again, really bad cop.
So they all go after the butcher, who goes off in a speeding car, who then goes to the party at the mill, where she encounters Brett, who's still sore about her earlier comments that I'm not going to repeat, and he leads the butcher off to some isolated area. Millie tries to tell his friends to stay behind, but they aren't gonna. Booker says they have 13 minutes left before this switch becomes permanent.
Awful close.
But Booker's gonna be okay with that because he will, make out with the.
He's
Millie
like, I don't care if you don't switch. We're cool.
Anyway.
So Booker sets a timer on her watch.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd this watch come from, by the way? Whose watch is this?
I don't know. Brett leads the butcher into two other guys who are up to no good. They intend to do some very bad things to Millie.
Yeah, we are surrounding who we think is Millie. These are the characters of Tobin and Squee.
Yes. And you have credits for them?
Tobin is played by Carter Glade. He was in one episode of Better Call Saul, an episode of NCIS Hawaii. And Squee is played by Tim Johnson, who was in an episode of something called The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay. Righteous Gemstones. I think that was an Adam Sandler film. Okay, so Millie kills one of the people, one of the kids, after slicing his throat with a broken bottle, and then proceeds to murder Brett with a chainsaw.
So she kills both of them.
Yes.
Both Tobin and Squee.
Yep.
And Brett's like, what'd you do to my friends?
Aw, poor Brett.
And yeah, she grabs a chainsaw and very Texas Chainsaw Massacre-y takes care of Brett.
Up to this point, can you think of a single person in this film that dies that doesn't deserve to?
I mean,
I'm
not going to say they all deserve death.
Okay, fair enough.
They don't deserve murder.
Right.
But they are all the bullies.
Right.
You're right. We had the mean girl, we had the asshole teacher, and now we've got the boys who were about to assault her.
Gotcha.
So yes, they're all bad people, but I don't think any of them deserved murder.
I mean, yeah, you're probably correct in that. So, in the party, they go looking for the butcher, and then Bill...
And Millie is wearing that mask again, right? Because we don't want anybody to recognize the butcher. Although this, big man in a mask should also be questionable at this kid party.
Yeah, you would think so. Josh ends up encountering Phil, and Phil says, "Oh, I know where Millie is. Come this way." And this would be the second person in a row to fall for this very tactic.
Right.
Millie and Booker find dead bodies, which the
football players.
Yes.
It's a very gruesome scene.
Yep. The cops now are at the party. Bill starts to make out with Josh, or tries to. Josh pushes him off. Bill says if he tells anyone, he will kill him. But the butcher takes care of that by killing Bill himself with a hook. With
an ice pick hook, which is, and I Know What You Did Last Summer reference. We're getting all the horror movies in with these kills.
So I guess the secret is safe with Josh.
right? Poor Phil.
Millie and the butcher confront each other and fight. A cop shoots at the Millie as the butcher, and then Millie runs off after the butcher.
Yeah, so the cop just fires a shot in the middle of this room with like 200 teenagers in it.
Right.
That doesn't feel like the best course of action.
No. We're looking at major lawsuits after this. But yeah, they run after the butcher, or Millie is running after the butcher in Millie's body. And she ends up getting lapped by Josh and Nyla. They both run past Vince Vaughn. And she's about to stab the butcher.
Stop! I'm trying to stab myself.
Right.
I love that line.
The clock strikes midnight. He thinks it's too late, but then she remembers Booker's words. Always set the clock 5 minutes ahead. She realizes that she still has 5 minutes. She's not, in fact, trapped in the body of the butcher. So she stabs herself. The body swap is successful. Millie is back in her own body, and the cops happen upon the scene, and Josh tells the cops to shoot the butcher.
Well, first we have to confirm that the switch happened.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So we do that again.
Yeah.
Where do we have the right one? Who's
Right.
the real person?
Mm-hmm.
And she confirms it by saying she hates sports.
Right.
Now, can you imagine if they didn't actually switch?
Yeah.
We just shot the wrong person.
Right. The cops happily, shoot the butcher many times. It should be enough to kill him, but apparently it's not. Because this is, like a Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees
Right.
type
The
deal.
killer never dies just by shooting them, of course, in a horror movie.
Her friends embrace as the butcher seems dead. Booker flirts with Millie in the back of an ambulance, and now Booker and Millie can kiss for real, but they should seriously talk about their relationship, given the fact that he was willing to kiss a serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But happy ending! Ominous music plays as the butcher rides in the back of an ambulance. They talk about how they hope he dies.
And this is one of those two cops we already know, plus an EMT. The EMT is played by Serafina King. She was in 6 episodes of New Amsterdam and 4 episodes of Loki.
And he seemingly dies, but it's because he took off his finger monitor.
Right, and now we're back to the Halloween references.
Wow,
so
yeah.
the killer being in the back of an ambulance
Right.
and escaping, and we don't see it, but we're going to assume that he violently killed these 2 people. Probably,
Yes.
and the driver, 3 people.
Because he basically said, look, your shoe is untied, and Gullible is on the ceiling. All right, so Millie cuddles with her mother, tells her Charlene that she loves her, and they say goodnight to each other. Her mother tells her she wants Millie to go to Boston, and she wants her to live her own life.
So later, Millie hears some noises.
Yep.
And the front door's open.
Ooh.
She blames it on her sister.
She creeps around the house, opens a closet, and nothing is there, but that's because the butcher is right behind her. The butcher grabs her and says, "What's the matter? You got your body back. Why aren't you happy?" The butcher is attacked by her sister, who's taken out, and her mother also tries...
Not taken out dead, just
Right.
kind of knocked over.
Yeah. And her mother also tries to attack, but that doesn't work out either.
Oh, because the butcher had removed all of the bullets from Charlene's gun.
Millie is prepared to stab him, but that doesn't work out either. The butcher mocks her for being weak. He says, it's okay. They'll fix that. And it seems like, the butcher actually really wants to help Millie.
And I'm going to point out, this whole sequence is the only time we actually get to see Vince Vaughn
As
the butcher, like, with
yeah.
words.
Right. Down for the count, Millie says she learned something in his body too. Having balls sucked. And proceeds to kick him in the balls, and I can attest that does in fact suck. Her mother and sister get involved, and Millie stabs him through the heart before saying triumphantly, "I am a fucking piece." And that is where the movie ends.
And presumably, he's dead now.
Yes, until the sequel.
Speaking of sequel,
Oh.
so, no, I don't have news.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't bring this up when we were there. During the whole ambulance scene where Millie's like, with her friends and she's about to actually make out with Booker, we see the knife going into a evidence bag and being passed off.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was the moment where it's like, oh, there's some sequel potential. Where's the knife going next?
Ooh, yeah,
the knife's
okay.
out there. It's in evidence somewhere. Total sequel
Bait?
Yeah, there
Yes.
you go.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right.
I have a bunch of uncredited listings.
Yes.
I didn't bother trying to figure out where we saw them because most of them are like high school students. They could have been anywhere.
Right.
All right, and some of them I have credits for, not all of them, but I will read out the credits that stood out to me.
Okay.
Okay. Breath. We have a high school student played by Catherine J. Agan. She was in one episode of Cobra Kai. We have a high school student played by Chaudhry Bias. We have a character named Carla Parsley. I don't know who that was in this movie.
She sounds delicious.
But I feel like that's on the same vein as Tim Turnip. Carla Parsley was played by Deja D. She was in one episode of Cobra Kai and 3 episodes of Echoes. We have a Blissfield Valley Beavers football player played by Dwayne Showtime Dyke Jr.,
Wow.
who is a hip-hop artist, apparently.
Okay.
Ryler's friend is played by Athena Hatcher. She was in one episode of The Outsider and an episode of The Walking Dead. Lenore was played by Emma Jones, who is in films such as Old and La La Land.
By the way, Old is a very terrible film.
I liked it.
It
didn't live up to its potential, and it could have been a lot better, but
No,
I don't think it was terrible.
I did actually like it, but there's a lot of problems. I mean, first of
yeah.
all, the acting is terrible. And M. Night Shyamalan, there's times where I'm like, M. Night Shyamalan, where the hell are you pointing the camera? Like, I don't know what the hell is going on because you're over here when stuff is going.
I think he was the camera operator.
I know, but he was the director. So it's still like, I don't know what he's filming, but the action's happening over here. I'd like to see what's going on over
artsy.
here. Yeah, sometimes that worked and sometimes it doesn't. But
It sounds like you want to talk about Old.
I kind of do. I did do a review, and
You did one of your minute reviews on it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I would actually love to talk about that film because I think we would have entertaining discussions on it.
Okay. Well, we'll put a pin in that.
All right.
High school student played by Erin Falk Lubacek.
Yeah.
We have a cheerleader played by Rachel Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Flynn. We have a student played by Michelle Manchester, who is also in one episode of Cobra Kai. We have a marching band member played by Morgan Monroe, one episode of The Walking Dead, and the second Fear Street movie, 1978. We have a cheerleader played by Hannah Russell, who was in Halloween 2018. We have a student played by Juleka Santiago, a teacher played by Patty Shellhouse, who was in Hidden Figures in one episode of The Detour, a student played by Gavin Sebastian, a Blissfield Valley Beavers football player played by Eugene Shawn, who was an assistant on films such as Beetlejuice, Snow White, and the series Wednesday. And a football fan played by Bennett Tarr, who was in the film Halloween Kills and one episode of The Walking Dead.
All right.
And those are all of the documented, uncredited listings as per IMDb.
And that is that. Yeah.
That is that.
It's an enjoyable film, not one to take too seriously.
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. The comedy is good.
Mm-hmm.
The horror is watchable. We've got some fun deaths, you know, if you like that kind of thing, which I do. The acting, I think, is really good.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with any of that.
The acting's really good, especially for a not that serious, like, slasher film, you know?
Right.
Often you get really bad acting in these kind of films.
Yeah, no.
But I think they did a pretty good job in this.
Yeah, I think so,
Even,
too.
like, the supporting cast, I think, did a pretty good job.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else to say before concluding?
Well, I'll just come back all month long because we're going to have some more fun horror to talk about.
Absolutely. All right. We'd like to hear from you. What did you think of this podcast? What did you think of this movie? Stacie, we reached at.
I can be reached on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at TVN Coupon Talk.
If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are more ways to do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. You can join the Core Productions Facebook page. You can buy something from the Core Productions store on Zazzle. You can buy me a coffee. You can join the Core Productions membership starting at 99 cents a month. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video, as well as subscribing to the channel. This is Dave and Stacie from Core Productions, signing off.